Manchester City has just spent a shocking amount of money on Elliot Anderson. £116 million to be precise. First of all, Marinakis, you are actually a criminal. You're telling me you could not lower your demands by just £1 million? Really? You so desperately needed that 1 million. Okay, bro. Whatever you say. Okay, jokes aside. So, why did Man City spend so much money on Elliot Anderson? A good place to start would probably be Man City's new manager, Enzo Maresca. Maresca always tries to find a balance between the position of one player and another. If you have fullbacks pushing wide, you need a strong midfielder to set deep. Otherwise, you leave your backline exposed. There is a common misconception that Maresca has a rigid way of using inverting fullbacks. But that's not necessarily true if you look at the season-to-season data. And Enzo has said the way he used his fullbacks at Chelsea is because of what players he has available to him, not necessarily what he wants to do himself.
What is the
No, first of all, it's for the dynamic, for the skills of the fullback. In this case, we have fullback that is Malo Gusto. We also use Marc Cucurella against Bournemouth in the pocket, attacking midfielder. And they can do that. They can do that.
So, that brings me to Anderson himself. If you look at the statistics, and the eye test for that matter, Anderson seems to be able to do almost everything on a pitch. If Maresca is planning to use his fullbacks in many different ways, you're going to put pressure on your midfield to perform multiple different roles depending on the game. The fullbacks are already there, and there's rumors that Man City is going in for another right back too. So with all that considered, is it really strange that Maresca wants a midfielder who can play both deep and up the pitch? But that's not the full picture either. Any team would like a midfielder who can do everything. That's kind of what midfielders are for. They're meant to be the most flexible player. So what does Anderson give Man City that players like Guimaraes or Gonzalez don't? Age is one of them. Yeah, it's boring, but this matters to teams. A player that is 23 can give you 10 years, while a player that is 28 can maybe give you 3 or 4. No, really. Think about the math. £116 million over 10 years comes out at just shy of £12 million per year. £60 million for 3 years is £20 million per year, and then you have to go buy someone else. So you see, the cheaper option isn't always the cheapest option. But Elf, what about the wages? Right, the wages. No matter who Man City gets, they will be paying big wages. Man City wins trophies almost every year. And the players they sign, they're either top players or they're up-and-coming players. Their wage bill is going to be silly. That's just how it goes. What Anderson also offers is passing range. While Gonzalez is undoubtedly one of the best defenders amongst Premier League midfielders, going forwards, he is prone to drawing blanks. That is fine if you want him to sit deep, but that's the only thing he can do. You can't ask him to play deep one game and to push up the pitch the next. Another thing is playing next to Rodri. Pep Guardiola never played a Rodri and Gonzalez double pivot. The main reason is that Rodri likes to be everywhere on the pitch. Whoever plays next to Rodri has to compensate. Anderson's task will likely involve him orbiting around Rodri, going where Rodri is not. A player who can only sit deep will not be able to handle being pushed up the pitch. And no reasonable manager is forcing Rodri to adapt his game for Gonzalez. And then the last issue is simply physicality. Man City in recent seasons has lacked physicality. That leaves Man City needing a midfielder who is both young and versatile, is strong and physical. A player who can play deep and can play up the pitch, and won't mind changing role depending on the game. Does that sound familiar? But what about my personal opinion? Well, the price tag is certainly big, but I do think that needs to be put into perspective. Because when adjusted for inflation, this is not even Man City's most expensive ever transfer. And as I explained earlier, the cheapest option here is not necessarily the cheaper option. Football prices simply get more ridiculous as the industry grows. Did City overpay? To be honest, probably yes. But so do most big clubs. Sometimes if you really want something, you just have to pay up. Like Arsenal did with Declan Rice. Sometimes you have to pay up. And sometimes it's worth it. With Anderson and Rodri in the Man City midfield, it will give Maresca so much freedom to set up the rest of the team how he likes. Knowing that you have a rock-solid base who can do many different things is something most teams dream of. So, to again put the question in the viewer's view, is it really surprising Man City went the extra mile to secure Elliot Anderson? Not really. At least not to me. But when you are that expensive, it will naturally invite a lot of pressure. And if Anderson can handle that pressure, remains to be seen. Hey, if you are interested in more videos like this, or in Man City topic streams and watch-alongs, please consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you, it helps a bunch.